why am I telling this story? The reason I'm telling this story is that
I've just flown 16 hours from Thailand to the lawyer's office.
this was me 1 week ago rushing to get back to Phuket Airport in Thailand in order to fly to Scotland and sign the contract on my second property 23 hours later, to which I made with minutes to spare. How did we get here? What happened? What's going on? So I've been getting into property for the last 3 years, and this situation was the final stage in purchasing my second property, which I've purchased as a buy-to-let. Now, anyone that's been looking to get into property will know that a buy-to-let purchase comes with many problems and many difficulties. For instance, when you're purchasing as a buy-to-let, you'll need to have a 25% deposit. You'll need to incorporate an LLC in order to purchase the property. There's a lot of steps which were all managed and all handled. However, what caught us out in this situation was the most practical problem, which we needed to be in the country in order to sign the final paperwork whilst I was out in Thailand. Now, we'd had some issues with this lawyer throughout the process, and I may be being a bit pernickety here, but I'll leave it open to you. Would you expect that when you're purchasing a buy-to-let property with your lawyer that you should be told that you need to be in the country to sign the final agreement, or not? I'll leave that up to you. So in any circumstance, my lawyer had not told me that we would need to be in the country. How did this happen? What was the problem? We agreed a move-in date with the seller of the 9th of May, and this date had also been agreed with the first tenant moving in. This plan had been made very, very tight timing that I would be arriving back from holiday the day before in order to then move the next tenant in the following day. However, whilst over in Thailand, my lawyer reached out to me to let me know that I would need to sign a document in person. I, of course, wasn't able to do that at the time, and therefore had to get back into Scotland, get back into the country. So looking at my flight, realising that the absolute latest this could be signed was 9 a.m. on the 9th of May. Looking at my flight, I then realised that my flight, to my shock, arrived at 6 a.m. on the same date, which meant that it was possible. So after around 18 hours of travel, I then arrived back in the country, and then I then had 3 hours of Ubers and lifts from my father to get to the lawyer's office. We made it there at 4 minutes past 9, signed the agreement, and that was that. The property was purchased, the first tenant moved in the next day or the day after, and all was said and done. So why am I telling this story? The reason I'm telling this story is that this journey over the last 3 years has taught me a lot about property and is now getting me to the stage where I'm looking to move into it a lot more seriously. And I'm going to use this channel and this space to share the insights I've gained and give almost a step-by-step guide on how you and anyone at home can start a property business or even just move into property for their own use. More to come. So in essence, this whole situation was a prime example of the sort of challenges which come up when you're getting into property and when you're moving and progressing into the property business. And I'm looking to use this channel and these future videos to explain these challenges and how they can be addressed. And if you take every challenge at face value and just work it through, they can easily be handled. Example is that when you are purchasing properties, when you are making bids and competing against other buyers, there's lots of subtleties, there's lots of games that are played, such as aiming for 10% offers over and different ploys and strategies. And a lot of you will know that you need to pay anything over the asking price of a house out of your own pocket. However, that was a challenge which came up in the second property, and it turns out that when you're doing a buy-to-let property and you're doing it through a business mortgage, you can actually have it re-evaluated and have the home report value of the house increased, meaning that you don't have to pay the offers over. So these are good examples of the many challenges that come with property and how they can be addressed. So this leads on to the next series of videos which I'm going to do, which will be a step-by-step guide of how, starting from the ground, you can get into property and potentially take it to the stage of a business. Stay tuned.